So let me go, here we have the instructions for your assignment. And I already uploaded this to one of the assignments on Blackboard. Again, just to make a link between what you're doing in the assignment here and the learning outcomes of this course. We expect you to use appropriate translation strategies for translating and writing news, translate effectively a text from English to Arabic, and use correct grammar, punctuation, appropriate writing style. Don't forget that this is a news. We are translating a news. When we translate a news, it's different from when we translate any other type of text. So it's not translating a law or a poster or let's say a novel or whatever. Here we're translating news. In other words, we are writing a news story. So we look at the source text, we get the information, we choose what information to include in the new news story in the target language, and then write it. Write that news story. Write the news story in the target language on the basis of the information you have in the source text. So you don't need to translate the text as is. The only thing that you need to translate literally or semi-literally, you can say, is the quotation. When you have quoted statement, quoted speech, you have to translate everything in. And this is the place where I'm going to judge your translation. In the other parts where there are no quotations, no quotes, I will judge your writing. I will assess your writing in the target language. For quotations, I will assess your translation. And that's why you have to translate at least, you can translate more, at least one quoted speech or one quotation, a bit lengthy quotation, not just 3 words or 4 words. That's why you have to select a text, a source text, which has quotations, lengthy quotations, let's say 1 line, 2 lines. It's specified there, I mean, the minimum for that quotation. You can do more anyway, that's the minimum. These are some instructions how to start, I mean, like reading the source text, looking also at the translation brief. It's important to know where your text is going to be translated. And for this assignment, it's been decided that will be published on aljazeera.net. So you have to look at aljazeera.net, you have to look at their style, at their policy, how they spell words like Trump, like any other foreign names, how they spell them, because you have to conform with their policy, you have to conform with their editorial policy and their style. That's why it's important to see where your text is going to be published, because if it's going to be published in somewhere else, let's say Al-Arabiya or any other newspaper, probably the policy will be different, the style will be different. You need also to look at how Al Jazeera use the quotation marks, how they write quotations, where they give the name of the person who says or who states that speech. I mean, where is it, before or after? I mean, I'm talking about Arabic because you're translating into Arabic now. You have to look at the style of headline, how they write headlines, whether they start with a verb or with a noun, punctuation. You have to look at all of those aspects in Al Jazeera, because there's where you're going to translate or publish your translation. That's why it's important to look at the translation brief to know where your text is going to be translated. And I will assess your work according to that. Of course, I mean, your news story, I mean, the Arabic news story should include headline. It can be translated the same of the source text, or it can be yours, your own headline. You create a headline. It depends on what you write in the Arabic news story, because sometimes you may just select some information from the source text and you find the headline, the original headline, does not really match it. So probably you need to create a new headline to reflect the content of your text. Picture could be the same picture you have in the original news story, or just find any picture which match the content of your news story. You can find it from images.google or from anywhere else on the net. Lead, the first paragraph, which answers most of the question or many of those 5 questions, WH questions like what, where, when, who, why, and how. Not necessarily all of them, but as many as you can in the first paragraph, in the lead, regardless of what's being mentioned in the source text. That's why I want you to think about this as you're writing a news story in Arabic. You're not just translating. So don't go for the lead in the source text and translate it as is exactly. No, not necessary. You may find more information, relevant information, more important information. You want to include them in the lead, in the first paragraph. You may need to find other information from the text and put it in the second paragraph. So it's not only translation, it's writing a news story. And more paragraphs you add, of course. The word limit of your Arabic news story is 150 to 180 words. You see, there's a range because it's difficult to give a precise number of words. We cannot do that. It depends. I mean, it could be even a few words, like less than like few words than 150. That's fine also. These figures are approximate, but of course, don't go like 120 words. That's too much. I mean, the difference here, just few words below or above that range. And you can decide which information to choose from the source, because the source text could be 500 words. You don't need to translate it all. Just choose the words or the information you think more relevant for the people who are speaking Arabic in the Arab world. Okay. But they have to be logically connected. I mean, those information, they have to be linked about the same topic. What else here important? Of course, I mean, when you submit, there should be 2 pages. The first page, the title page, and make sure you do this. I mean, now, the first page, your title page. So you need to do that in Word document. First page, you're having your name, your number, student number, and saying that this is Arabic newsletter. And in the second page, you give your Arabic news story. It may be more than 1 page. I mean, it could be 2 pages, I mean, just for the story. Sorry. So it could be 2 pages or 1 page and a half. It depends on the picture you have. I mean, if it's 1 page, that would be better. If you think you need more space, no problem. You can add more space, I mean, to the second page. It's fine. But make your work tidy. I mean, notice here that I mentioned even the font. I mean, in the here in the footnote, font must be size 12 and use double space. Use double space. This is important. I mean, the space between lines should be double. You need to learn how to do that on Word. So insert the URL address of the source text in the headline of the Arabic news story. You don't need to add the source text here to the document which you are going to submit. No need for the source text, because the source text could be 3 pages, 4 pages. I don't need it. Just the link. And if you can, I mean, I show you how to add to build in the link, I mean, into the title itself, the Arabic title. Highlight the Arabic title, right click, and there you'll find link. Add the link there. Now, what else here? Of course, you have to make sure that your text sound idiomatic in Arabic and it's suitable like for publishing as a news story. Make sure you submit your own work. Plagiarism will not be tolerated in any way. So, because there's a tool in Blackboard will find out if any 2 of you did the same work, unless of course if you're doing it in group, that's something else. Yeah, make use of office hours, my office hours. I'm really, I mean, more than happy, I mean, to help you at any point during the office hours, okay? And during your writing and translating. But office hours are not to correct your assignment. It's more to explain concepts, to explain something in the source text, if it's not clear, but not to give you the proper translation or to give you, I mean, to correct your translation. And this is the translation brief. Of course, then I have to approve the text. I mean, I have to approve the text anyway. You have to look at the, to go to the table here. Just click on that link. I'll show you now. Hello. And that, if you click on that, will take you here to this table. You have to find your text. It should be from BBC. Should be from BBC, please. Why? Because I mean, we studied entertainment and news, and I want you to do it entertainment and news. It's easier to find on BBC. If you go to BBC here, I will show you. BBC News, and go to entertainment. This section, see that section here, entertainment and arts. Click on the entertainment and arts. There are a lot of stories here, news stories. You can choose any. Make sure it's lengthy enough. I mean, it's long enough for you, I mean, to choose from, because you're not going to translate the whole text. Yeah, submission should be in PDF, not in Word format. It has to be PDF. So when you not being able like to follow those rules will affect your mark, and it's written clearly in the instructions. So it has to be in PDF. You have to submit it to Blackboard on time. Okay, so any question? Let me see your chat here if you have any question about that. Can we use similar articles as other students? No. That's a good question, Noor. No, that's why I made them all in one table, so you can see each other's texts. You're not allowed to choose any text that's been already chosen by any of your classmates. And make sure you look at the table first to make sure that nobody chosen the text. And you have to add your text here in the table. You have to, you should add your text and your name and the link. If any student selects your text and you didn't add it in the table, they have the right to translate that text, and you lose that text. So you have to write you have to add it here with your name. Yes, from BBC. Rima asking whether to choose from BBC or Al Jazeera. You have to choose it from BBC. It's very simple, because there's a section for entertainment from BBC ready, where you can find all news about entertainment. And I showed you here again. It's where's that? Yeah, just give me a second. So BBC, you go here to BBC, and then under BBC here, you'll go to entertainment and arts. See that section? Entertainment and arts. Click there. That's one reason. The other reason why I want you to go through, I mean, BBC, because we are translating from English into Arabic. So I want those texts which are originally written in English. On Al Jazeera, you cannot tell. Probably they're written in Arabic. Then they're translated. Probably they are in English, but written by Arabs. You cannot tell. I want those originally written in English by native speakers of English to translate into Arabic. I hope everything is clear. Any other question before I stop the recording? Because I need this as a reference for the assignment. Any other question? No? Everything is clear?